Hey there, comic book friends. This is Travis, and this is another edition of What the Fugue, where I talk about things that are going on in my comic book world for the week. First thing I want to talk about is, in me and Ethan's last review, we said we were doing a live review on Saturday. That has been moved. Ethan had some commitments that he had forgotten about when we were talking about doing that. We're still going to do the live review, but we are going to do the live review on Sunday at 11 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So that's like, what, 2 o'clock Eastern, whatever. So we'll be doing that live then. If you want to jump on our YouTube channel sometime during that time, you know, send us questions, shout outs, whatever. We'll kind of keep track of that and talk about what you guys are wanting to talk about too, along with the books that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about books that were the last 2 weeks of August. So we'll be talking about the week 4 and week 5 of August. We squashed those 2 weeks together because there weren't a lot of books in week 5, you know, being that odd fifth week oddity that there is sometimes. So anyway, so that will be Sunday, not Saturday, Sunday. Sunday at 11 is when we'll be doing that. And I apologize for anybody who happens to jump on Saturday and doesn't see it because they didn't watch this video or whatever. We messed up. It's all Ethan's fault. You can blame him. Anyway, anyway, there's that. First I wanted to talk about, I noticed, I'd seen on or heard Ghost Critic talking about how he'd heard that Punisher was going to be on a team somewhere down the road, which I agree with him. I think it's just a kind of an awful idea, but I hadn't really heard it myself. Well, I saw, day before yesterday, I saw that they announced there'll be a new Thunderbolts with the new Marvel Now thing, and Punisher is going to be in the new Thunderbolts. And the new Thunderbolts team is going to be run by Red Hulk, who, of course, his nickname happens to be Thunderbolt, whatever the guy's name is, it's something, Thunderbolt, Colonel, blah, 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 Thunderbolt. Anyway, he's running a team that's got Venom in it, it's got Elektra in it, it's got Punisher in it. I feel like and Deadpool is in it also. The starting of the book. I hear there's going to be other people in it. I don't know. I just can't see Punisher in a team book, working on a team for any period of time. I mean, I do find it interesting that, you know, Thunderbolts has always been a story about a book about criminals working for the government, trying to work off their penance, kind of like Suicide Squad from the DC. And this one's kind of the same way, because all of these characters, that at least to begin with, that are being introduced here, at least started out as being introduced as being a villain or a bad guy or something like that. So it is kind of curious. These guys don't work for the government. They actually are just a private team that works for Red Hulk, and whatever he decides needs to be crushed, and they take things down the way those kinds of characters take things down. You know, guns blazing, swords swinging, blow them up, blast them up kind of thing. Am I going to pick up this book? Very doubtful. I don't have a lot of interest in... I have some interest in some of those characters. I don't think I have any interest in Punisher outside of Greg Rucka writing the character. So more likely after this run of Punisher's done, and they have that mini-series where he goes up, where he clashes with the Avengers, I'm probably done reading the Punisher. I've been really enjoying that book, but it has more to do, I think, with the writer and the style of the way he's writing it than it has to do with the character himself. Anyway, so there is that. That'll be interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I go back and forth with the whole Marvel Now thing. I keep thinking, well, I'm going to pick up some of these books and try it. And then at the same time, I look at them and go, man, this is just something I don't want to read. It seems messed up or whatever. So, I don't know. We'll see. As time goes on, I will probably end up picking a bunch of stuff up off of the local chain store that does carry a few comics, I'll probably pick up some from there. But so far, nothing has really managed to make it to my pull list as far as things I order in advance through the discount comic book service. Anyway, so there is that. Something I wanted to kind of touch on is, how are you guys keeping track and sorting your books? Do you have some program that you're using to do that? I mean, do you have it all on pen and paper that you diligently write down what you have, or you're typing into your computer, you got some crazy Excel spreadsheet that you're putting it all in and whatnot? Me personally, I started a few years ago, started using StashMyComics.com. Not advertising them per se, but I think they do a great job. It's a great program that keeps everything organized. It doesn't cost anything. It's not like you put in your first 100 issues for free and then you gotta pay something to have the rest of them and whatnot. It's got its own community and stuff. I don't really invest a whole lot in that, in message boards and podcasts that are there and whatnot, but I do like it. It has a way to put in all your old comics, put in what the value of them is, and it'll tell you what the what condition the comic book is. They'll tell you what it thinks is the value of them based on the comic price guides that are out there and stuff. You can set up your pull list, so it'll automatically feed your pull list to it, and you just have to click on a box to say that, yeah, put it on my list. You can sort multiple lists if you want to. You can have lists that anybody can go on the webpage and look at. If you have some secret comics you want to hide from everybody else, you can put that on a list that no one sees. Yeah, I like it. But I'm curious, how is everybody else? How are you guys keeping track of all of these books? I mean, some of you guys have a lot of books. Can you really remember them all? I mean, I can remember what runs I have and bits and pieces and whatnot, but it's nice to be able to have I don't know, someplace I can quickly go to without having to thumb through a bunch of catalogs to see, do I have that issue in particular? Do I not have that issue in particular? Lets you set up wish lists, things like that too. The one thing that freaks me out a lot of times though, it has a running tally of how much money you have spent on your comic books and what they're worth. What you're worth, of course, you all know how that is. That's pure speculation. What your comics you can actually sell them for are completely different from what they might actually be worth or whatever. But how much money have you spent on comic books? That's frightening. That's frightening to see that number. When it starts being the cost of a car and things like that, or a couple years of college education and stuff, it's very frightening to see that. But at least I didn't spend it all at once, right? At any rate, once again, I want to thank everybody. I just put out not very long ago a goofy anniversary video. It's got some outtakes and just different stuff that me and Ethan goofing around. I'm just going to slice some of the pieces of what happens before we actually let you guys see what's on the camera and stuff like that, and just have some fun and kind of celebrate the fact that that the month of September is the year anniversary of when I started putting videos on YouTube. And I just wanted to have a more serious conversation about it, about how much I really appreciate this community. And I appreciate all you guys out there. And when I say guys, I don't mean males. I use guys generically. All you comic book fans out there who participate along in the whole community thing and stuff. And there's my kids home from school. Anyway, it's been really great. I mean, before I started the YouTube channel, I had probably spent about a year. I have a blog where I wrote comic reviews. Diligently wrote comic reviews of all the comics I read. I would write a comic review. Ethan would write his own little thing on it too. And it was, that was enjoyable. Really enjoyed it. Put a lot of work in on it and whatnot. But it was very limited on who it was that really read that. I have a few friends who read that, and I think I had like 1 or 2 other subscribers who I didn't know personally who would subscribe and get it too. And we enjoyed that. But going to this is such a bigger audience, and for me it's not so much an audience of oh, you're watching me, don't I feel special because you're watching my videos, as much as it's what opened the door that what I was looking for in particular, to get to have conversations with all of you guys about comic books, because I love the medium. I mean, I love the medium in itself. I also love superheroes, but I like all kinds of stories that are written in the comic format, and being able to talk about that with other people, and I, interact with you guys in the comments and stuff, be able to watch your videos, hear your opinions and your thoughts on the stuff that you're reading, and even if it doesn't match what I'm reading, that's great for me, because I get to see what else is out there and get to see new stuff and get turned on to things that maybe I wouldn't have read, or thankfully you spent the money on something that's a stinker and you read it, I don't have to read it, and vice versa. And just to get other people's thoughts on the same things that I'm reading and whatnot, and it makes me rethink. And sometimes I go back and reread books that maybe I wouldn't have read otherwise, or suddenly I have a much better appreciation for something. I read it, I was in this kind of mood when I read it, I missed something, you guys read it, you guys had some other thought on it, and you come up with something different, and it's been fabulous. This has been a great year of reading comics. And it's been a great year of comics, despite some of the stuff that's gone on in comics. I'm a big DC guy, as probably a lot of you know. The whole reboot, relaunch of the DC Universe was quite frightening and disturbing in a lot of ways. Some great books have come out of that. At some point here, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do my own year review of where I'm at with my DC Comics, what I started out collecting of the new launch, what it looks like now and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, this has been great. I mean, it really has, and I really appreciate it. And it's you guys that make it lots of fun and whatnot. If I didn't feel like I wasn't participating along with all of you guys, I don't know if I would keep doing it. But I surely really do enjoy this a lot. It's definitely one of the fun things. One of the fun things in life, and it adds an extra element of fun to reading my comics. Granted, if I didn't have this tomorrow, I'd still read my comics, but I don't know if I'd enjoy them as much, because I think about them a lot more, because I know I'm going to be talking about them and stuff, and yeah, it's been great. And I appreciate all you guys out there. Everybody who always, anybody who has commented on my videos, anybody who said, hey, you should check out, Oddfellow's thoughts. We just, both me and Ethan just think that's a pretty great thing. I guess I'm awful at doing shout-outs. I watch a lot of you guys' videos, and when you guys recommend somebody else, I'm always checking them out, and generally end up subscribing to everybody. There's a ton of videos. I mean, if I don't watch videos every day, it's a challenge to get caught back up on some of the stuff, because there's a lot of great stuff out there. But yeah, I'm not going to keep going on and on, because I think I'm repeating myself now. But just wanted a more serious note on the, thanks for letting us be part of this group you got going on, that you've included us in the fun, because it definitely has been that. Let me think. I know there's something else that I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, I just got done watching Agent 42Q's video on the Judas contract. It was a great video. It was great listening to him talk about that. I've been rebagging and boarding all of my old comics, trying to get them all into the new drawers and whatnot, and I just got done going through those Teen Titans that he was talking about there, and those were some great stories, and I love his looking over it and his insight on what he thought about those characters, even now, and stuff, and his observations on it were pretty great. I may have to actually pick up that trade, because there's some stuff written in there, an intro in the trade from Marv Wolfman and them talking about some stuff that he talks about in the video, which you should check out by just watching his video, that sound cool, and I would like to I'd like to read that thing, just to read that intro and whatnot, because it sounds like it had some fun stuff in there. And that was another fun time of reading comics. You know, that was a good time of reading comics during that era of books and stuff. So it was fun to watch that. At any rate, I'm going to be doing some no capes videos here pretty quick. It occurs to me I haven't done a no capes video in quite some time, and I have a big stack of comics that I would like to talk about, so I'll be doing that. I mean, I've got stuff that's, I think at this point, almost a month old, you know, like the last Saga issue and Revival and some of that kind of stuff. So I got a couple more I want to finish reading, and then I'll talk about those here soon. This week I hope to hit all the podcasts I can, so we'll see what that's going to be like, see if I can catch all those in between all the busy stuff we got going on. But one more time, just to remind you that our live review will be on Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, because Ethan never knows what he's doing, and that's the one day of the week that he won't have it figured out. And now he's giving me ugly looks off on the side. But it's his fault if you show up at the wrong time, and I apologize, and so does he. Anyway, I'll catch you later on in the week. Bye.